Question number 5, David Garrett.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Justice and asks, does the Minister agree that the law on self-defence needs a thorough review following the throwing out of the case against Virender Singh and ongoing violence in our community, particularly against small shop owners?
The Honourable Simon Power.
Mr Speaker, not quite yet. I recognise that there is considerable public anxiety about whether Mr Singh should have been charged in the first place. While I don't want to comment on the specifics of the case, I have asked officials for some advice on how Section 48 of the Crimes Act is applied, both in terms of how police exercise their discretion to charge and how broadly the courts have dealt with such issues.
David Garrett.
Does the Minister agree that as a matter of principle, a person's home is their castle and someone invading it does so at their peril? And if not, why not?
The Honourable Simon Power.
Mr Speaker, Section 48 of the Crimes Act, as the member will know, states everyone's justified in using in defence of himself or another force as in the circumstances he believes them to be is reasonable to use. And under Section 55 of the Crimes Act, the law also permits such force as is necessary to prevent the forcible breaking and entering of a person's home. It's those matters and the application of them that I've asked my officials to look at.
The Honourable Jim Anderson.
Mr Speaker, what sentence would be imposed on a hypothetical shopkeeper who was successfully prosecuted for defending himself if he had twice previously been robbed and defended himself, and the government's 3 strikes bill, promoted by the member who asked the primary question, was operating? And is it possible that a hypothetical person who overreacted to being repeatedly robbed could get a harsher sentence under that proposed law than the robber himself?
The Honourable Simon Power.
The member will have to wait to see whether in fact that bill becomes law.